Okay, welcome to the newest edition of the weekly Parsha series. We are up to Parshas Terumah. Seems like quite a long journey. Let's talk a little bit about the Mishkan. The question is, what was the idea behind the Mishkan? What was it supposed to be? Chronologically, where is it at? It's important to note that there are two different opinions over here. There's the opinion of Rashi, and there's the opinion of the Ramban. We'll do them one by one. Rashi writes implicitly in Chumash and overtly in his commentary to Shir HaShirim, that the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was the kapara, the atonement for the Chet HaEgel. The gold of the Chet HaEgel, sin of the golden calf, found atonement in the gold of the Mishkan. What does that mean? So Rashi says chronologically it worked like this. The Jewish people received the Torah. They then sinned with the golden calf, which needs discussion. And then after that, they were commanded to build a Mishkan. Now, you'll notice that that means switching some of the order of the parashiot around, which Rashi says one can do. In fact, the Gemara says that sometimes the Torah is not in chronological order. It's not a history book after all. It's there to teach us lessons. But nevertheless, that is the opinion of Rashi. Again, the Mishkan was an atonement for Chet HaEgel. How did that work? Why was it an atonement? So the way the Kuzari says it is fascinating. He says, what you had with the Chet HaEgel, sin of golden calf, was people who, or some of whom were looking to connect to God, but they connected in the wrong way. They created an intermediary that God didn't ask them for, and therefore that descended into idolatry. Or essentially it might have been idolatry. When it came to the Mishkan, this was an intermediary or a semi-intermediary that Hashem himself had asked for. The way the Beis Halevi says it a little bit differently is that Chet HaEgel was trying to create some form of sanctuary, but wrong. When they did it from their own opinion, or did it off their own bat, so to speak, what happened was the Jewish people used the various elements of the physical world, and what came out was some form of calf, and that was a problem. But the Mishkan was using the materials of the spiritual, of the physical world, to create something real and spiritual. It was a microcosm of the whole world, the whole universe, and that was a centralization of kedusha that was good. You know, a centralization of holiness, which was fine. What would have been had we not created the golden calf? According to Rashi, it's a good question. We would have still had the temple, probably in Israel, but would we have had a temporary Mishkan? Probably not. Where would that holiness have been? Well, that would have resided inside of each and every one of us. Bilvavi Mishkan Evnai, build the Mishkan in my heart. That is all the opinion of Rashi. Let's switch towards the Ramban. The Ramban writes that actually the Mishkan was not a kapara, an atonement for Chet HaEgel. The Mishkan, the tabernacle, was something else. It was the plan from the beginning. How so? He says that the Jewish people needed something to internalize or concretize the experience they had at Matan Torah on Har Sinai. And it's almost human nature, dare I say, that when you're inspired with one-off events, that inspiration dissipates. Therefore, they needed a concrete project, something to be phase 2 of Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah. And those were the daily miracles and daily experiences, so to speak, in the Mishkan, in the tabernacle. Well, that is the opinion of the Ramban. Again, two very important opinions, two opinions that are, that are very close to our hearts, both in terms of classic commentaries on Chumash, but also in terms of life lessons. Number one, Rashi, is that sometimes we think we're doing good, but if we're outside the rules, it's not always so, and it can descend into things that are not very positive. And point two, the Ramban, that inspiration needs to be grounded. Once you've had an element of inspiration, wow, etc., then make sure it's grounded, it's concretized, it's built upon on a daily basis.